Hello there, happy Tuesday, or whenever you're watching this. Today we're going to be talking about what binge eating is and what it is not. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Rachel. This is I'm Bringing Healthy Back, and I talk about healing your relationship with food and your body image. I have a history of disordered eating that I have recovered from, but that doesn't mean I eat perfectly, because I don't think there is such a thing. We just do our best sometimes. And so today is going to be another educational video podcast wherever you're listening. And so I want to just disclaim that this video is not advocating for disordered eating. And I want you guys to heal from disordered eating if you are struggling. And it is just educational. So please take care while listening. Today I used sources such as the Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic, NEDA, is it .org probably? It's National Eating Disorder, probably Association. And some of this information probably overlaps with information from the Johns Hopkins website as well. So what binge eating is? Should we start there? Let's go. So it's characterized by chronic compulsive overeating. We all overeat, but chronic, ongoing, compulsive. So it's like a seeming lack of control. Symptoms include feeling like you don't have control over your eating behavior. You often eat much larger amounts of foods than is normal in a specific amount of time, which they categorize as 1 to 2 hours. Eating when you are full or not hungry, eating very fast during a binge. So it's not all the time. You may seem normal during a meal. Eating until you're uncomfortably full. Often eating alone or in secret. Feeling depressed, disgust, ashamed, guilty, upset about your eating. Characterized by, I already said that. Binge eating occurs, so it's actually in like the book of diseases, disorders, there's a certain name for it that psychologists use. Let me know. I read it, but I didn't write it down. So the binge episodes occur at least once a week and have been going on for several months. So at least 3 months is what they use to assign a diagnosis. But wait, there's more, unfortunately. So sometimes binge eating is in response to emotional stress, which is emotional eating, which not everyone battles, but sometimes you can be an emotional eater and not necessarily be a binge eater. I don't think the two, I think the two can be mutually exclusive. I think I'm saying that correctly. If you are a binge eater, sometimes you organize your schedule around binge sessions, and that one hit me because, like, I remember being there. I remember going through that. I remember just waiting until, like, okay, I just have to wait till after supper, and then, or like, I know, like, people will be out of the house, and then I'm free, and there's no one that's gonna be there, and I just remember that. So hoarding and stashing food for later. I remember specifically a pack of mint Oreos, hiding them in a drawer in my bedroom. Hiding your eating from others because of embarrassment about how much you are eating. Obsessively thinking about food or specific food cravings. And there's so many consequences of binge eating and downfalls of binge eating, which I think we can all agree that binge eating is not good. And was it my last episode? I'll link the episode I did on consequences of binge eating down below if you guys are interested, either in the show notes or the description. It can control your life. And it's really sad how it can isolate you and distract you and keep you from being productive. And there are a couple other things I'm going to read that correlate directly to this. May avoid eating in public, and you may withdraw from friends and pleasurable activities, which I quit a couple sports. I quit hanging out with friends because, like, you're disgusted with yourself. I was. And you know you've put on some weight. And you're like, I know people notice. And all you can think about is food. And, like, your belly might be so full while you're hanging out. And even though you're, like, going out to eat food. And it's a whole mess of emotions and, like, physical and mental distress. But binging can give the person who's struggling a sense of relief or release. And it's so weird, and I'm going to talk about me. It feels like so messed up that you have this, like, building anticipation that you're going to binge, even though you're, like, not necessarily happy about it, and then you finally get to eat what you wanted to eat, what you were planning to eat, how much you wanted to eat or were planning to eat, and it's this relief, or release, but then it's accompanied and followed by, like, guilt and shame and physical and mental discomfort. It's not nice. But the one difference between binge eating and bulimia is that with binge eating, there's no purging of the calories. There may be frequent dieting, but there's no purging like there is with bulimia. And I'm not sure if I'm going to go over what bulimia is, because I just don't feel like I do. It's not pretty. No eating disorder is pretty, but I feel like bulimia is possibly the least pretty of them all. So that is what binge eating is, and I'll leave the links to my sources down below if you want more information about them, like what can cause them and how you can begin healing from binge eating if you are someone who is struggling with that. But here's what binge eating is not. So it's normal that we're going to overeat sometimes. You may be someone that overeats at every meal, but that doesn't mean you have binge eating disorder. You may eat late at night when you're bored, but that does not mean you have binge eating disorder. You may overindulge at parties or on special occasions. You may eat too much Halloween candy. That doesn't mean you have binge eating disorder. You may have one too many slices of pizza. You may have dessert when you are already full, but that is not binge eating disorder. Like I mentioned before, it's binging at least once a week, and it's been going on for at least a few months, and it's chronic and compulsive overeating. It's a sense of lack of control, and for me it was a strange combination of, like, I felt like I had control because, like, I could eat whatever I wanted to eat when I wanted to eat it, but it wasn't control because I couldn't stop. I couldn't put a stop to it. And it wasn't whenever I wanted to eat because I was ashamed. Like, I always felt like people were watching what I was eating. And there's a lot to unpack behind that. But that is what binge eating is and what binge eating is not. So if you are someone who thinks you may be struggling with binge eating, I'm going to leave at least two websites, or 2 or 3 websites or resources down below for you guys if you want more information or if you want someone to talk to. It's definitely something that you can talk to with your physician or a therapist or something, but I am not a professional, and so that's something that if you think that would help you, I would encourage you to go get help, because there's so much more. You have so much purpose in this world. Like, God put you here on purpose. You are here for a reason, And I truly believe that eating disorders are the devil's way of distracting us from fulfilling the purpose that God has us here on earth for. And that may seem very religious to you, but Jesus loves you, and I believe he wants your freedom from an eating disorder, and I do too. So this may have started out as an educational video, but I need you to know that Jesus loves you so much. Even if you are ashamed of yourself and what you're struggling with right now, he loves you through it all. All right. Again, sources and resources down below for you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.